Debate the facts.
What it do, two of you?
Humans.
We got a couple people here. Welcome to Debate the Facts, everybody. I'm Toxic Taylor. Joining me is Ray Bay, and our biggity bitch kitty didn't show up, of course. Right? Spent all day rambling incessantly on Facebook and shit. Tuckered himself the fuck out. So we're gonna have to do this show without him, without his little nonsense, without babysitting. Right?
Thank goodness.
We
That's
don't
cool.
have to babysit the little fucking skits. But today we have a very interesting video, don't we?
Hell yeah. Hell motherfucking yeah.
Yeah.
So this yeah, what's the background on this, John, man?
Let me get my toes out here. Apparently we missed something in that review we did last week. That they got the Tap podcast saying to the guys, we must have missed something. But apparently, not only did they win the conference, not only are they claiming they won, but they're complaining they got a fucking hat out of the guy.
Holy shit.
And look at that. We got David Koresh himself here. We got a new member of the Tap. We got the motherfucking Waco joining the Tap podcast for a very special episode today.
What's that? It was this documentary about this dude, this doctor, something Singh, and he was like this Indian dude, and he came to the United States. He had a whole fucking cult and shit. That's what he looks like.
Oh, the Rajneeshi.
Yeah.
Rajneeshi dude, yeah. The sex cadets.
Yes.
We got the cult leader himself here tonight. Right, we got Ponders filling in for Sharif couldn't make it, so they brought in this one. They brought in Sabord.
Oh man, this is hilarious.
And they're very happy to announce that apparently in absentia, Aron Ra has converted to Islam.
The great one. You mean the great one, right? The great Aron Ra?
The Aron Ra, the legend.
The motherfucker that destroyed these guys? That destroyed at least two out of 4 of these guys, 50% of this little conversation here.
Yeah, I get the beating was so bad that Sharif didn't even come to work today.
Damn, they whipped him into submission. I wonder if that's how Kalua. Is that how it's pronounced?
Kalilala.
Kalilala. It's like one of those black names and shit, you know what I'm saying? It's like really hard to fucking pronounce and shit. The teacher calls it out. Kalilala. And then the little motherfucking squirt has the nerve to go, it's Khalil Allah. Miss.
He needs to be culturally appropriated pretty soon.
Yeah, for real, man. he's culturally appropriating like out from left field. But this isn't about the ex atheist. This is about tap water, the tap water show.
The Tap Out podcast. So they've converted Aron. Let's see what they have to say about this shit.
Oh fuck yeah!
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to this special edition in which we are basically breaking down
Shalom.
a very popular recent debate discussion that happened on the Thought Adventure podcast between Jake, Sharif, and Abdul with Aron.
Yeah.
And we thought it'd be a brilliant idea to bring, the brothers
It was
on
more like
and
a
just
gang
talk
rape.
about what happened, because I was certainly enjoying it. It was
Aron
a
Ra didn't
Ramadan
ask
treat.
for
It was
that.
Eid before Eid. And so with me are today the brothers, Jake, Abdul, and Yusuf. Assalamu alaikum, guys.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
So it's great to be live with you guys. In fact, I think it's the first time with Abdul and Jake. So tell me, brothers, this it is an adventure. It is a thought adventure, and it was a very interesting sort of discussion. So what was the purpose behind inviting Aron Ra to this podcast?
Yeah, so the purpose of inviting Aron on is because, as people may know, he's a popular YouTuber, big in the atheist community. And we felt that he needed to be addressed. So we invited him on to have a discussion about
a popular YouTuber.
He needed to be addressed.
Yeah, that's exactly. You needed to be dressed in a skirt. so
Like
he didn't have to tear your pants off to give it to you.
They had to reprimand him. It's like, Jake, you wasn't addressing Diddly Donk in that video. Matter of fact, your face looks exactly like it has been looking the same exact way. And in the last 3, 5, 6, how many fucking videos? It's been a whole fucking marathon, and you've been on every one of them. This is ridiculous, dude. This is you. Oh my god.
About the necessary being, whether or not a necessary being exists. And we brought him into the discussion. We knew going into it that he wasn't really equipped for the conversation. But to be honest, that was part of it anyway.
Every time. That's what we didn't think he was equipped, so we came 3 deep, right? For somebody that's unequipped because he's a popular YouTuber.
Oh shit. The irony of that statement, the irony of that statement, because like with his and Vin's debate, he was definitely not fucking equipped at all. He wasn't equipped at like one little iota. He had papers and shit, but he did not have a fucking PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah,
Jake, man, you gotta stop saying stuff,
crazy, man. What world do these people live in?
Captain of irony. They live in the law of irony and oxymorons and contradictions.
Way to demonstrate that although this guy is very popular and has a big following on the internet amongst atheists, he really doesn't have much of a clue of what he's talking about.
Yeah, I think from that perspective, the objective was met. That was very, very clear. So Abdul, during the discussion, I mean, even if somebody had it on mute and they were just watching it, you could just see his posture crumble, his certainty. He's running out of sound bites. He's running out of these little remarks that he makes, and you could just tell that he just looked very uncomfortable. So, I mean, was that planned, or was that just something that it just naturally went in that he just looked like he was getting cornered?
What is this nigga talking about? Hold up.
No, I mean, the idea was
this motherfucker was sitting low having a morning cup of coffee, looking uncomfortable. Motherfucker, you look uncomfortable right now.
Lies. The great one even asked me himself, and I'm honored and privileged. Why do religious people lie about everything? And you, Mr. Sabor, lying. I watched that very video. He was calm, cool, collective. He's sitting there drinking his coffee.
Big old cup of coffee.
He's like this the whole entire time.
Yeah, Jake looking like he done fucking seen the fucking Jaws coming at him at 60 miles an hour.
I mean, he didn't do it like I did.
You got Jake with the fucking coldest, fucking shivering, pissing his pants. Aaron's just sitting there drinking a cup of fucking coffee, and he's like, "Oh, it looked like Aaron was uncomfortable with it in the room."
If anything, Abdul looked the most uncomfortable and shit. He looked like he was about to cry and wilt and die of hunger and starvation and shit, thirst. And fucking Jake was just emotionless as a motherfucker. And who's the other guy? Sharif. Well, we barely saw. He barely moved. He just looked off into the fucking sky, looked at a goddamn ceiling the whole entire time. Mr. Sabor, what the hell? What video were you watching that I fucking watched?
The Takia video.
Yeah, the Takia video. I'm keeping a straw on this thing from now on. I'm now. I am no Aaron Ra when it comes to drinking out of a cup.
This motherfucker's drinking a mile-long cup of coffee.
Right. I don't even think he didn't even refill it.
I don't even think they have it up anymore. It was so bad. Oh no, here it is.
And just go to our review of it and shit. And he said he was uncomfortable.
Yeah, hold up. Let's get. I got it right here. He look at uncomfortable. Hold on. That's the face.
Man, look at that. Oh my God.
Look at how uncomfortable this motherfucker is.
He looks like he's ready to go take his set.
Sharif went to go change his fucking pants. Jake's sitting there like a little bitch going, how did I get this far on YouTube? This man just sitting on his fucking porch drinking his morning coffee like he already been through Muslim after Muslim that day. Like these fucking Hadithers will not quit their takia.
He is 100%. This is
the face. Look how uncomfortable Aaron is drinking that cup of coffee.
His whole face during the entire interview was this.
Ridiculous, man. I can't believe these fucking people have the audacity to tell their fans this shit. These are your viewers. These people support your fucking channel. You have the audacity to pretend like you're somebody to them.
Right.
You owe your viewers more than that.
Integrity, man.
I got 3 viewers. I give them more than you give your viewers. Bullshit.
Where is your integrity, Mr. Sabor? Because you did not watch. Clearly, you watched another debate.
It's like entirely to corner him. It was more to break his epistemology down and understand where he's coming from with regard to his stance on the existence of God. And maybe the reason he felt very uncomfortable is because it doesn't normally go like that. Normally, he tries putting people on the back foot, asking them for evidence, not really understanding what the standard or criteria for evidence is. So we sort of wanted to start it like, okay, we know you're going to ask us for evidence. So right now we want to start with some kind of common ground, break down your epistemology for us, tell us what counts as evidence as far as this question is concerned. And I guess he's just not used to that kind of philosophical breakdown of his position.
Yeah, he's definitely uncomfortable. And I think breaking down his epistemology was the right route of doing things, because normally, like you said, it is him just saying, well, where's your evidence? Well, where's your evidence? Well, that's not evidence. And that's usually a summary of his debates.
I don't recall him saying that, though. I thought they were having a discussion. Nope. He didn't. Yeah, I mean, like it was supposed to be a discussion. It was Abdul and fucking Sharif that was trying to turn it into a debate. Jake, of course, was just fucking sitting there in the background and shit, just looking like white noise and shit, you know, sounding like it also, you know, nothing against you, Jake. It's just that you was just born as shit in that fucking discussion. I'm gonna be real, bro. You weren't exactly the greatest fucking thing in that fucking discussion. And please, can you just change the hat? Please change the hat to something different.
Yusuf, you weren't actually there, and I was, and you know, I think you would have contributed well, but maybe you can tell us why you were missing in action.
Yeah, so I've seen his videos before, and I've seen there's one in particular. He was debating IP. I can't remember his name, and he's like a Christian.
Michael Jones, Inspiring Philosophy.
That's the one. And I've seen him too often. Sort of, he sort of throws his weight about. He gets irate and he just starts shouting. And obviously, with it being Ramadan, I was hoping I did try to get them to sort of arrange it for after Ramadan. And I wanted to get involved with it if it was after Ramadan because they got it sorted beforehand. I didn't want to really jump on it. And not only that, I was sort of on my way as well to meet some friends. So I was on a bus. And I don't think my contribution being on the 471 would have added to it at all. But yeah, no, alhamdulillah, it turned out like a really good discussion. At the beginning, it sort of went downhill with his typical sort of throw his weight around sort of thing. There was a moment where Abdul Rahman had a back and forth with him, and he was saying, "You're constantly misrepresenting me. You're constantly misrepresenting me." And I've told you why you've misrepresented.
He started later out saying, "You're misrepresenting me." Oh, maybe because they were trying to change the definition of every word in the fucking dictionary to make a fucking point.
Right. I now use the word people to describe, inanimate objects around my house now. I don't fucking use people in the right way no more because of Abdul and Sharif and Jake.
They got this motherfucker agree that, hey, I don't think it's possible that nothing started everything. They turned that fucking into God. they turned that into a shahada for the fucking sake of this fucking video. You wonder why he's telling everybody they're misrepresenting him. Is that it?
They're misrepresenting him right now.
For the sake of this fucking video, they are. For their own fucking little confidence boost in their bullshit world. So they can call in their viewers and send them super chats. Unbelievable. These fucking hadithers.
And they're just banking on their viewers not watching the discussion at all.
So several times, blah, 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 blah. And then Abdul Rahman was like, "Listen, sorry, that's not my aim here. Just tell me what it is I've misrepresented you on. And if it is a misrepresentation, I'll apologize and I'll take it back. That's not what I want to do." And he's like, I don't take notes. It's like, bro, you're saying that this happened only moments ago.
They misrepresent each other.
You can't even remember what you're being misrepresented on. How can you be so sure you're being misrepresented?
Yeah.
Like, to be so confident and cocky with that outburst, because he was getting riled up in that moment. And I was like, this is it. It's going downhill. And then, alhamdulillah, the way the brothers reacted to it, they were very calm. They kept their cool. I can get a bit grumpy when I'm hungry. So, may Allah bless them for the composure throughout it. And alhamdulillah, they managed to keep control of the conversation. And from what I know, I didn't watch all the way through. I think I got about the halfway mark. But the last half seemed to be much more civil, from what I heard. Inshallah, I'm going to do a full review with Abdullah Andalusi at some point after the weekend.
Bullshit.
I'm just waiting for him to let me know when he's free. And so I'll get to watch it all at that point. I'm in two minds whether I want to watch it all beforehand or just get some sort of fresh approach when I do a review. But mashallah.
Hold on, Yusuf. So why are you in this conversation with these asshats and you have not even seen the full entire fucking debate?
Yeah. I can't believe that shit. Well, how was he misrepresented? First of all, Abdul apologized for his clear misrepresentation. He didn't ask him where. He knew exactly where he misrepresented him. That's when Jake finally jumped in, I believe, and started claiming, "Oh, well, you don't believe it's possible. It's necessary," with the word games.
Yeah.
I want to see what clip they watch, and I want to see what they're trying to spin it. What they said they're going to show a clip soon, because we're gonna find that exact clip from that exact same podcast.
I would love, because I'd love to see what they see.
How they spin this.
There was another thing as well. One of the major reasons we wanted to do this. So there's a recent revert on our channel who took his shahada with us, And Aaron Ra was like aiming at him basically, and he was trying to get him to come onto his show. He was trying to take advantage of his sort of position in the atheist community and his what would you call it? His
Status.
His status, the awe that people have about him. And he was trying to get this person to come on.
It's pronounced status.
That's a big word.
Alhamdulillah, I think this obviously really undermined any
Status.
sort of authority that he tries to give off to people.
That's like pronouncing
Yeah,
data
Brother
as data.
smashed him. MashaAllah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. It was good that the brothers were very like calm, and they were like, okay, so fine, you got this issue, so tell us about this, tell us about that. And I felt, I mean, it'd be nice if Sharif was here, but I really liked how everybody was playing their role in just getting him to go down a certain route. And in the end, he just looked like he had regret in his mind, that okay, why did I enter this lion's den? So we're going to play the clip now, and we're just gonna
they
discuss
have
it
clips.
briefly.
Wonderful.
Hold on, Abdul, please. So what I'm saying on is that we were trying to build an argument for the necessary being. You agreed to the principle of sufficient reason, so we're on the same page there. Then what we're trying to explain is we have all these different things that we experience in reality that are contingent, that require an explanation for them outside of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so the question is, do we get to a bedrock thing that is necessary that explains all these other contingent facts, or do we just keep going on ad infinitum with all these different contingent beings? The only two really possible options at this point is to say, well, there has to be some sort of necessary being that is the grounds and explains all these other contingent facts, or we just keep adding on more and more contingent facts ad infinitum, and we don't really get anywhere. So
matter and energy are eternal, never created, and then we don't have this problem at all.
But then you would say that matter and energy in that case would be necessary, and then you have a necessary being. It just happens to be matter and energy, right?
The reason being that it's not possible for there to be absolutely nothing.
Well, but
Matter
I'm
and
saying
energy
even in
is the
that
necessary
equation,
being.
you
Pay very
rejected
close
in
attention here, folks.
infinite regress, and you said,
Replay
well, the thing that's eternal is
So
this.
replay it.
Replay that. What did you say the necessary being was?
Case would be necessary, and then you have a necessary being. It just happens to be matter and energy, right?
The reason being that it's not possible for there to be absolutely nothing.
Well, but I'm saying even in that equation, if you rejected an infinite regress and you said, well, the thing that's eternal is this matter and energy. Well, the question is that matter and energy that's eternal, is it necessary or is it a contingent fact? If you say that it's contingent, then it needs an explanation outside of itself. Or if you say that it's necessary, then you agree with us that there is something that is necessary. You just think that it's matter and energy. And then we could have a discussion about that.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I mean, which one of those options would you, at this point, would you go with? Would you say that you think matter and energy is eternal but doesn't have to be necessary, and then we still have to figure out, well, what
If it's
explains that
necessary, the only
contingency?
thing that makes it necessary is that it's not possible for there to be absolutely nothing. At least I don't think it's possible for there to be absolutely nothing. And that impossibility would make the existence of something necessary.
Earl.
And
Right.
none
Okay.
of
So
it,
I
none
mean,
of it is relevant to what we're talking
well, no, it is because we're using, as we described in the beginning, what being was.
Look at these fucking idiots. These guys got him believing in God. He's saying the necessary being is matter and energy. Are we looking at some fucking omnists? Are we looking at some what do they call them, omnists? What the fuck do they call them?
People who believe that everything is God.
Yeah, omnists.
Oh, that's simple. That's what I believe. You know,
Pantheists. Are we looking at some fucking pantheists? Are we here looking at some fucking Muslims lying through their fucking teeth? This motherfucker on your own fucking video told us that matter and energy are his necessary beings. Plural, because there's two, you fucking morons. Learn how to count. not God. They're forcing this guy's fucking shahada. Made them so we don't even have to replay the clip. I thought they were gonna have the shit cut off and out of context. It's right there on your own video.
Oh man.
That's what he said too. That's literally what he said. I don't think it's possible for there to be absolutely necessary. That impossibility would make instinct something itself absolutely necessary. Now rewind it. Let's see if they even got the fucking quote right.
I don't even think they got a quote right.
It's not possible for there to be absolutely nothing. At least I don't think it's possible for there to be absolutely nothing. And that impossibility would make the existence of something necessary. And
right.
None
Okay.
of it is relevant to what we're talking about.
No, it is.
I don't think it's possible for there to be absolutely nothing. That impossibility would make the existence of something absolutely necessary.
We're not restricting it to this sort of God with consciousness and all that stuff. We're not adding that baggage into the equation.
We should.
But,
we could have another conversation about that.
We could. But before you go, I want to be clear on where we're leaving off. At this point, to me, it seems like you're agreeing that there is something necessary by the fact that you're saying you don't think that there could ever be absolutely nothing. And if that thing that is necessary is something like matter and energy or some
here we go, misrepresenting. What did he say was necessary?
In terms of philosophy, would be a necessary being in that respect. We would disagree with that, but at least we would agree that there is something that is necessary, and then we could have a further discussion about which model best describes what should actually be considered necessary and what shouldn't.
Again, I don't deal with physics at all. And I know that Sean Carroll, although I would have said that it's impossible for there to be nothing, I know that Sean Carroll said that it is conceptually possible for there to be absolutely nothing. And so with that being the case, that means that matter and energy never created are not necessarily necessary. So
but you would disagree with Sean.
Yeah, that was especially the last.
I'll say it again.
Zoom in on these fucking idiots. How many times did this motherfucker confuse the number 1 with 2? Look at him. Look at the reassurance on his face. Like, I did it. I did it. I've been fucking up so many times this week. I got it. I got it, guys. Thanks for your support.
I finally got you. Yeah, I got it.
You know what? No, look it up. Hopefully they don't figure it out. Oh, my head hurts. Hey, Wilson! Wilson! The fucking castaway.
Wilson, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Wilson. Wilson. Oh,
we got a fake shahada for you, Wilson. Wilson's out in the middle of the ocean right now. This motherfucker is gonna come back and say he took his shahada out there too.
I'm gonna go back to America and I'm gonna marry Jenna.
These guys are fucking desperate to get a convert. Like they took Kalila, right? That should be sufficient enough because that's probably the best they're gonna fucking get at this point. This fucker made Aron Ra's God, matter and energy. Matter and energy. And then confused said, that's the necessary being. And the necessary being became God. And now we have a podcast with a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yes.
About it.
Yes.
And then prove it to themselves. Like this is how the brain works. Matter and energy equals one necessary being equals Allah. Do the math in that one, folks.
These two guys at the top, they're the ones that converted Khalil.
These guys are responsible for Khalil Allah. Remember that. Every time they come out with one of these videos, we have a Khalil Allah thanks to them, and we do appreciate the tap and the videos they put out for us to laugh at.
Yes,
because they don't debate anybody besides, right? They in their opinion, clowns like Jake put to you in the beginning of the video, and they won't debate someone who's actually philosophical or whatever the fuck, a matching pseudo intellectual. Jake tried to do that the other day, and it did not work out. We looked at that one last night. When you get a pseudo intellectual like one of these guys with another pseudo intellectual, you have a fucking shit show. And I hope we do that again.
I will be begging. I'll pay them to do that shit again.
I would. I'll pay them to have T jump on or somebody.
But that was a bit of a weird defense.
No, what were you gonna say? My bad.
No, go ahead. I forgot already.
Oh, I can just press the K
I
button.
mean, he brought in Sean Carroll, and
we disagree.
Didn't help it. It was just.
I mean, he contrasts.
Yeah,
he contrasted his view with Sean Carroll's because he said, "I don't think it's possible for there to be absolutely nothing. That impossibility makes the existence of something absolutely necessary." And then when I basically explain the implications of that, you're admitting a necessary being, he kind of goes to Sean Carroll, but he says, Sean Carroll says this, and I don't agree with him. As if that's going to help him. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Is that what he said?
It was very much like, I felt it was like, how shall I buy some time?
Oh, he said that? He
Can you
didn't
just
agree
chuck
with
in
him?
something which is neither here nor there. Like, I was just like, well, okay, that doesn't make any sense. Clearly doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I was often
No,
getting the feeling as
no,
well.
the
He didn't
battered
really
energy
understand.
can't be that battered energy can't be two because there's only one Allah. So we just gotta redefine what he said in a little bit and make it right. Necessary being, right? Necessary beings into necessary being, and necessary being into God, and God into Allah, and Aaron Ra into a Muslim without Aaron Ra present. Aaron Ra's the last to know about this. And believe you me, none of these motherfuckers, those little excuses Yusuf Ponders was talking about earlier, this motherfucker was pondering how long he would last in the ring with that guy. This dude fucking drinks Muslims for breakfast. There was 3 gallons of Muslim blood in that fucking coffee cup, believe you me.
Yes. He was.
Jake wondering, was there a bottom to that cup?
They wanted some. Please, sir, could you offer us some of your delicious beverage?
Is it necessary for there to be a bottom to your coffee cup?
Water, at least. I wonder what
Aaron Raw intake 13
was
gallons
meant by
of
necessary
coffee
because
a
there was
day.
that.
We'll ask him what he had in the cup. Remind me to ask him.
Other moment as well, a bit earlier on, when I can't remember, was it Jake? Was it you? You said something about the necessary being, and then he's like, "No, it's not the necessary being. It's just that it can't be any other way." It's like, bro, that's what necessary means.
Yeah, I was like, dude, that's what necessary means. And the other thing was he didn't even understand what being meant. He thought being was because Sharif actually asked him at one point. He said, "Do you know what we mean by necessary being?" And he's like, "No." Well, dude, why are you on the stream?
When did this happen?
Have a debate about
when did this fucking happen, bro?
Yeah.
I'm gonna message the Muslim metaphysician right now for a timestamp.
I need to see a timestamp on that also because I don't remember that conversation going down, and I don't remember was it when they had when they were having a discrepancy over the word being or person or some shit like that? They were trying to change the definition.
They were trying to figure out the definition. They all had their heads in their hands trying to figure out the definition of mind. The definition of person. Well, how are you defining person?
Yeah, that's not what happened. He schooled the shit out of them on what the definitions of these words were. He gave them the textbook Merriam-Webster fucking dictionary definition of these motherfucking words right to their fucking faces. There was no discrepancy on his end. It was on you guys' end. You guys wanted to change the definitions of these fucking words. Not Aaron. He wasn't even confused.
Aaron Ra memorized the definition of the word mind for the sake of teaching these fucking assholes at that moment what the fuck a mind is, and they still couldn't figure it out.
Right.
Man, if anyone hasn't seen the fucking abomination of a review we did, I suggest you check it out. It's called The Necessary Beating here on Debate the Fact. It was a fucking shit show. And this is the
Absolute
fucking
train
cherry
wreck.
on top of it. The fact that these motherfuckers had dicks in hand jumped on a fucking live afterward to describe the event to us again.
Is this the one that they did right afterwards?
This is the one they released yesterday.
Oh, okay,
They're
all
all
right.
sitting there with shit-eating grins because they've converted Aaron Ra in absentia to Islam in their own
Oh
opinion.
my god.
In their mind. They right, regardless of how rattled Jake looked yesterday or on that in that whatever the fuck that think that happened last week or some shit, regardless. These motherfuckers have a whole different interpretation of the world around them at this point.
I don't have any cute presentations to start off with my argument. So what I do have is these nut ass pieces of papers, this peer review study that someone has given me, Mr. Vin. You're just gonna have to take it as law in this debate. And then Vin's like, yo, bro, I thought we was having a discussion, dog. Hey, bro, I thought we was having a discussion. Justin, get your boy. Yo, Justin, get your boy. Justin, listen, my ruby red lips can only do but so much. I am not the fucking moderator of this motherfucking debate. Sir, you need to calm yourself down. I have let you run rampant in here with your fucking presentation. So please, sir, eat a dick. Eat a dick.
You know,
That's
fucking dick. And then Castaway.
Here we go.
Look at
Castaway over
Castaway.
here. Oh yeah. You guys really trounced him. You guys really fucking trounced him. I said, no, the fuck they didn't, dude. Stop fucking lying. Why are you lying? He was uncomfortable. The man's butt cheeks was fucking cringing right in his seat. You know, he kept picking up his coffee mug. That was a sign of his uncomfortable. You lying sack of shit, sack of shit. Stop fucking lying. Stop being a liar. Doesn't Allah not despise? Doesn't Allah despise liars? What's wrong with these guys?
Yeah, they on the fucking hook, man. And that's the thing, man. Them reading them hadiths and shit, saying it's justifiable to lie to all these little zombies that send the money on Facebook and shit.
Join my
debate.
Patreon, please. I'm gonna get some lipstick.
If there's a necessary being and you don't even know what a necessary being is, I mean, it's absurd. And the fact that people in the hundreds of thousands, atheists, would be following this guy as some kind of person to be followed is just ridiculous. I mean,
first and foremost,
look at man, motherfucker!
Wow. First and foremost,
this ain't the teapot called the kettle black, man. This the Dixie cup, fucking kettle white. The fuck out of the Dixie cup, man.
Hating like a motherfucker. He just hating.
How the fuck do people follow this motherfucker?
Right.
He makes an ass of himself in every video he's in. That's the reason our channel exists.
Jake, because of you, I now want to present PowerPoint presentations with any of my arguments and claims because of you. You are the reason behind that. But I'm going to let you know something right now. Aaron Rod doesn't need any of that bullshit to fucking make you or Abdul or Sharif look like a fucking fool. He did that shit with simple words. Put you guys down like a fucking an Italian mob hit or some shit. Just put y'all right the fuck on down. But okay, he was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Even atheists, I got plenty of messages from them online afterwards. They think that the guy just got completely destroyed. I mean, he looked kind of silly, like a fool. So it's just amazing that somebody would approach a discussion and didn't even know what the title of the discussion implied. I mean, it's just absurd.
And just to push on this as well, by the way, it's not like he didn't know. So Abdul Rahman, when you were messaging him on Facebook, it's not like he was saying, hey, why don't we just have this random conversation? We're not going to tell you what it's about. You made it very clear.
Yeah. So the first message I sent him was like, we're going to have a discussion on the existence of God. And he knew later on, like many days before the stream, that, okay, this is the title of the stream. I think we put the link up there about a week before the event, and he got the link and he knew it was there. Discussion about the existence of a necessary being. But the problem is that you can be philosophically unequipped. Philosophy doesn't have to be your area. And a lot of people are kind of saying this. I've seen people online saying, well, you guys called him in and philosophy isn't his area. Well, it's fine if philosophy isn't his area, but if it's not okay if he built his entire career on critiquing a philosophical subject when he knows no philosophy.
Yeah.
So that's the issue here. And I think what we wanted to
Atheism,
point
motherfucker,
out
there's
at a
videos
certain point during the discussion
philosophy.
was that,
That's not a
wait a second.
philosophical
This guy is
subject.
very, very popular.
Jesus fucking Christ with the bullshit. Tap versus the master of facts here. The guy does videos on phylogeny against young earth creationists like myself. He doesn't do anything on philosophy. You're a fucking idiot. Look at you. Look at that. Go zoom in on that. What is he? Swallow the damn microphone? He's gonna swallow. So he can swallow that whole thing.
He never looks. He looked, exactly how he looked in that thrashing from Aaron Raw. This is exactly how Jay looked.
I've been following Aaron Raw for years. Go to his fucking page. He's talking about phylogeny. He's an anti-creationist. He has nothing to do with philosophy. The reason you fucking idiots brought him on your show because you don't like to talk to philosophers. You want to make yourself look good in front of your fucking cronies so you can get their little fucking YouTube money and be, ooh, I got confirmation from my little fucking zombie click. You don't even need to swallow the microphone. They're already Google Gaga for you. They already believe the bullshit coming out of your mouth.
That's a bright old rage.
Get him in this. Get him. We gotta get him one day. We're gonna get him. Zoom in on him. Zoom in on him. Let everyone see this one more time. The epic. The epic intake. Zoom in. This is the intake. One requires at least 45 psi incoming air to swallow that fucking microphone he's got in front of him.
Oh my goodness.
A deep breath before more bullshit is released.
Oh man, my cheeks hurt. Oh my god.
He's talking about these philosophical topics. Oh no, man. Motherfucker never seen an Aaron Raw video in his fucking life. The reason you brought him on is because you thought there was going to be something like just every single debate we watched with you guys in them. You thought you had the upper hand until you realized I do not have the upper hand. I am a pseudo-intellectual.
Exactly. Aaron Ra has been around the block a lot longer than these guys have. And the man's got years of experience, intelligence ahead of them, light years ahead of them. They did not have any fucking clue what they were jumping into. I wouldn't even step into a debate with Aron Ra. Neither religious, societal, political, or what have you. I wouldn't even step into a fucking political debate with this motherfucker. Him and I, we don't share the same fucking political views. I'll be like, nah, I'm good, bro. You probably might wipe the fucking floor with me, turn me back into a goddamn Democrat. No fucking thank you. You motherfuckers are stupid. Stupid, 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 stupid. I'm surprised he didn't convert any of these two.
Yeah, the second, man, there's this shit, man. The universe is expanding outward, and the sole purpose it is to get the fuck away from Aaron Ra. These motherfuckers have absolutely no clue of that when they stepped into the fucking ring with him. 3 of them all got turned the fuck around and kicked in the ass right the fuck out of there. And now here they're back pretending like it didn't happen. Knowing damn well there ain't a single fucking atheist watching this. Damn well. Knowing damn well there ain't a single fucking atheist in your whatever the fuck you call that's inbox telling you that you won this fucking debate.
We won, bro. We won. No.
Misrepresenting the atheist in your DM.
His mouth is saying no. Oh,
Their version of atheist intellectual is Steve motherfucking McRae. I seen it on Twitter. I caught him. They changed the topic of it's a discussion with Aron Ra. That's why there's 3 of us, 1 of you and Nomad, to a debate. They're advertising that we debated Aron Ra, the 3 of us, and we won. And even the atheist, in parentheses, Steve motherfucking McRae, agrees with us.
Who's that? One guy?
One guy. There is one guy.
It's like
now,
millions of
I
us.
named a couple YouTubers that have done a review since we did ours. All right, there's Son of Socrates or Socrates' son. There's a Word and Reason. There's another one. I'm not good with names right now, but I've watched a few of them. And when we stood up to that shit, right? Because Aron's just like, not gonna even fuck. This was a fucking Tuesday for the fucking guy. He does this shit every day.
Practice. He ran a practice run up against them. That's what he did. It was a whole fucking practice run. It's like, I'm just practicing.
I mean, you go to Aron Ra. You got Aron Ra on your Twitter. You got your Aron Ra on the Facebook. Aron Ra does not know this is happening right now. He wouldn't have known it. We told him.
Yeah,
we had to tell them. He's like, "Oh, those fucking idiots." I think I remember them. That was my 9 o'clock appointment.
It's like, why do religious people lie about everything? He probably was like, "What? Wait, what?" Oh, and took a sip of his fucking coffee, wrote his little comment, and then went back about his life. Dude, don't give a shit.
This is a fucking brief period. He gave you an hour of his fucking day, and that's all he had. You had to move on to the next 3 Muslims that wanted him. These motherfuckers are starstruck that they were even in the presence of Aron Ra.
I think that's what it is, Taylor. There you go. You hit it right on the nail. Right on the head. They were starstruck. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to continue this 15 seconds of fame that they got. They're trying to push it even, just trying to stretch it as far as they fucking possibly can. We were in conversation with Aron Ra, and we kicked his ass. And that's what this is.
Kicked his ass in a gangbang. The only people that got this is the trolls, man. The trolls are trying to troll Aron Ra. There's plenty of those. But the dude's been at it for 20 years. He just ignore that shit. Like, he literally had no idea this was happening. I messaged him, asked him, begging him, please come on my show tomorrow for a review. Please, 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 please. And don't kill us and don't slam the door too hard and knock the foundation down of my house. And he's like, what? What's going on? There's a video about me? He has no fucking clue this happened. He forgot completely about this shit. These right
there. Oh my god! Oh, that's yeah. There's the clip, a clip and whatnot. I mean, shit. Here, let me see something. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look that clip on up.
What does that say? What's this chick's name?
Sent a video. I'm gonna download it.
What you do with the ego? You pretend like you spin the hell out of the truth. Like we can't even call it spinning, right? He's inhaling all the truth and converting it into bullshit. Like, that is an epic breath. If you don't notice that right now, this guy's taking an epic. All that bullshit coming out requires a lot of oxygen.
Yes, 100%.
We're only halfway
Popular in atheist circles.
How long is this shit? Like 40 minutes or something of nonsense?
Oh, thank goodness.
We got a video today.
I swear, if these guys jerked each other off for 2 fucking hours, I'd have been like, yo, this is not even fucking worth it, Taylor. Can we split this into like little bite-sized segments and shit? Maybe we just review this like some other fucking time down the road and shit, like, on our own fucking free time and whatnot. Because this is oh man, that'd have been too fucking much. I'm glad they only spoke for 36 minutes. That's exactly how much time these motherfuckers were really truly worth. That's exactly how much time Aron Ra should have given them in the first fucking place, was 36 fucking minutes and 40 seconds. But it is.
Yeah, 40 seconds would have been sufficient to whoop all 3 of their asses. He was being nice.
He was. He really was. He's like, yeah, it's been an hour, guys. Come on, let's go.
These motherfuckers can't get the number 1 or 2 together here. He said matter and energy. They've converted that. They figure 1 + 1 = 1. Allah.
Yeah. Fucking idiots.
Especially amongst like internet atheists. Of course, there are philosophically savvy atheists out there, and there are atheist academics out there who are way more sophisticated than Aron Ra. But I think the idea here is that this charge that internet atheists very frequently, throw at theists in the sense that you guys don't know what you're talking about. You're just blindly following certain public figures who are misrepresenting science and philosophy. It's equally applicable to certain atheist figures, right? Yeah. And this is a perfect example of somebody who has a huge following and who makes a living out of critiquing. It's not just like young earth creationism or something that he's critiquing from a purely scientific perspective. No, he, in the beginning of the debate, made it very clear that a necessary being doesn't exist. I mean, he even came in with that t-shirt.
The t-shirt. Yeah.
No God exists. That's a philosophical statement. So, I mean, I think a lot of people out there who are saying that, philosophy isn't his area need to be very clear on, okay, maybe we should reconsider listening to this guy about the very philosophical topics he talks about, because all he talks about is basically philosophy.
Yeah, there was also a point in the stream where he was even talking about he thinks philosophy can be good and that it should be taught in schools and blah, 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 blah. And then he said, but there's a lot of philosophy gets misused. How on earth is he going to be able to know that if he doesn't consider himself philosophically savvy? And so he makes that point. He opens it up as if, I've got an understanding of philosophy.
You're a fucking idiot. All right. The first thing Aron Ra said is that a God was impossible. Now, I don't agree with that statement, but that was the statement he fucking made to you, and you had absolutely no fucking argument against it. All you decided to do was fuck around and misrepresent words and him and his position to this point. To this fucking point. He said no God exists. Yes. He said it is impossible for a God to exist. Yes. And those points stood firmly while you motherfuckers scrambled to get your bearings on the necessary being. The point you made him agree. These motherfuckers, you want to defend God? Do it with some fucking honesty so the God actually exists.
Yeah.
Because he's one. Your God does not exist. There is no fucking reason to believe you.
Facts. Matter and energy, two separate beings. That doesn't make one God. That makes two.
Making up how a God could exist doesn't make it fucking exist. I can make up a million things. I have $1 million in the room, and you can't prove otherwise, motherfucker. So I'm a motherfucking millionaire until you do. That's a philosophical statement to say I'm not a millionaire.
I need a loan if you ever become a millionaire.
What is this fucker saying now? I once Aron Ra, if he'd ever
tomorrow
tried a shamanic colonic that is 16 million milligrams of DMT melted into a butter. And what is going on in my fucking chat now? What is he? What a butter funneled through anal? Jesus Christ, you people! I once asked. I'll bet you did. Did you hear? Did you see that? I shouldn't have even put that up on the fucking screen. What was I thinking? Well, this is what we do. Our viewers get to do whatever the fuck they want. What do you think? Your mic's out. I was wondering why you're being very quiet.
Sorry about that, man. My bad. All right. You asked me what do I think? I was talking to my roommate. We got to do some step fixing for the apartment next door. So I gotta be up at like 7 and shit to help with that. I'm standing the fuck around tomorrow. I'm gonna let other motherfuckers do the work. I work hard all week. I ain't got time for that shit. But all right, now what do I think about this this whole situation with these dickheads trying to
a
can you hear me?
deep philosophical statement that there's no God. Their God. The one that tells them to go out and fucking bend words and shit to make them real.
Yeah, I mean they these guys are playing. Oh yeah, so this is what I was thinking. Yeah, they sitting there trying to play word salami with this motherfucker and shit. You know what I'm saying? Trying to change the definitions, trying to fucking play around, play the little funky ass games. I love how at the end of the video, and he had to bow out of the fucking call. He's like, "Look, man, I'm fucking done. You guys are fucking idiots. I'm out." You know, he didn't say that. I would have said that. If I were in Aron Ron's shoes and I had the clout that he had, and the knowledge and the intelligence and the coffee drinking skills and that long ass fucking mug, I definitely would have straight up fucking just insulted the shit out of them on the way out the door. Hold on 1 second.
None of that. Can you imagine? You're sitting at the poker table with one of these fucking assholes, and they raise you $20, and you call them, and they call it, well, that's a philosophical statement, and you just sit there and argue before the motherfucker shows you his cards. This is the fucking type of shit these guys do, man. They want their God is true in their mind, and they want him to be true, and they're willing to bend all of reality to do it.
Yeah, fucking these motherfuckers want to. That's what Hadithers do, Taylor. You know, don't let them give
so perverted
over
this.
They're
so perverted in reality right now. They have perverted themselves where it doesn't matter if they're lying and they're twisting words around and they're fucking just disagree with themselves. As long as the ends justify the means in Haditha world. If you can get a shahada out of somebody that you just completely bullshit into it, all right, it doesn't matter.
Is it me? Am I the only one that thinks that Jake looks like a fucking created character off of wrestling game and shit? Like his whole fucking face looks like the default created character.
The default.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's continue this, John. Let's see what's popping with it.
I know what good philosophy and bad philosophy is. And then he gets absolutely wasted. And then at the end of it, in the comments and in the the chats after the discussion, he's going on like, philosophy isn't my field. I don't know anything about philosophy. And it's like, bro, you're putting on completely different personas here than what you were during the discussion. And the sheer confidence, he was talking as if he was justified in being a positive atheist. Atheism proper, not just this agnostic atheism. Oh, I'm not sure. You just can't prove to me that God exists. No, he was making the positive claim that God almost certainly doesn't exist. And he might not even have said almost. Well, I can't even remember now. Did he give the soft quantifier almost, or was he going in?
No, he said it was impossible. He said it was impossible.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Jake, you fucking told the truth for once. Yeah, there you go. How did that make you feel?
Oh, they corrected. Oh, well, we're perfectly honest now that we've corrected one falsehood. We got one fact check. An internal fact check. Wow.
Yeah, right. Talk about some damn almost. Shut up, Yusuf. Talk about some damn almost.
Atheists. I know you got atheists in here. You didn't believe in miracles? Well, we just showed you one here.
And you, sir.
Muslims internally fact checking each other.
You didn't even watch the whole fucking discussion. Talking about, don't add anything to it. Don't add diddly squat. Jesus Christ.
Going from this sort of hard claim to being shown of his ignorance of a particular subject, even though he's putting on this persona and this aura of, I know what good philosophy is and I know when it's being misused and blah, 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 blah. And then demonstrates he completely misuses philosophy himself. Yeah. And then try to escape that by talking like, "Oh, it's not my field. You shouldn't have gotten me on here," as if it was some sort of sneaky ploy.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, the Dunning-Kruger effect really comes into play here, right? So you have somebody who is ignorant about a subject, and then they're confident, and then they are coming across, because the way he was trying to come across is that you guys didn't know what you guys were talking about.
Yeah,
They didn't.
You're misrepresenting him, or that, you know,
They
he was
were.
the authority here.
He
And I think
was.
that goes to show a lot that you can make a career out of pure ignorance
and confidence.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Ignorance and confidence.
He's usually very confident, but I didn't even realize.
That's basically what they do. They
This
make
other guy got Dunning-Kruger.
Oh man, somebody told me about that too the other day. I had to look at the fuck up. I was like,
Dunning-Kruger. It means that you know a little bit, but you're confident you know more than you actually know. All right, and that has nothing to do with these motherfuckers talking about a debate that doesn't exist, along with a God that doesn't exist.
these motherfuckers is like, I mean, oh my gosh. One of them is they fact checking each other. One's lying straight off the bat. The other one just hasn't even watched the whole fucking debate. So, or discussion, I should say. And then Abdul down here is just, you know, and Jake's being Jake.
Realize it, subhanallah. Actually, when I watched the stream back a second time after it was live, and especially towards the end where we had been building, for those people who didn't watch the whole stream, I suggest you watch the whole thing. We were kind of building up this argument for necessary being step by step. And I came in towards the end, breaking down the argument, where we started, where we were at now, and telling him what the implications were. And if you watch his face when I'm actually making the argument, he looks visibly uncomfortable. Like he doesn't at all look confident. And at one point, when I get to the kind of the punchline of the necessary being, he literally throws his hand up in the air. He goes like this and says, "Okay." Like he doesn't know what to say. And then he actually explicitly admits that there is a necessary being in the clip that we played for everybody. Whereas in the beginning, he said, no, in fact, there's no necessary being, and it's impossible for there to be a necessary being. And then by the end of it, he looks so uncomfortable, throws his hands up in the air and says, "Okay, I guess there is something that's necessary." So it's just amazing to me that.
Why are you lying, Jake? That's not exactly what happened. That's not what he said. He flat out told you to. No, and he left. Yeah, what's going on?
I'll show you.
Oh, I forgot I had my mouse.
You want to see it?
Perfect.
I'll tell you what's going on right now. Yeah, I'll throw this shit up. Remember to share the audio.
Please, Taylor.
All right, I'm done. I'm done.
I
said I'm done.
That was so cringe, man. What the fuck was that?
That's Jake's describing the debate with Aaron Rock.
Okay, that makes sense because that's exactly how I felt. I felt that. I felt it. All right. Yes.
The debate with Aaron Raw that Darren Raw does not remember.
He doesn't remember. He probably was like, "What? Huh? Who?"
The man's got a schedule.
Water? You want me tap that ass? I don't know what the fuck's going on. Shit. Yeah, man.
Describe how he beat Shaq. All right, let's throw this shit back up.
Yeah,
we got more fun to go. We got plenty more fun. Boom! I put it in the hoop like slam.
Yeah, you didn't share the audio
when I beat Shaq.
You didn't share the audio on that one.
I forgot to share the audio.
People can.
Yes, you fucking suck, but it's all good. It's actually, I think that's a good thing.
Follow a person who
copyright issues.
I'm sorry to say is so inept philosophically and makes a whole career out of it. And then afterwards on social media, he says to me, and I wish we had more time, but he said to me, "Well, why are you guys basically inviting me on for this? You know that my area is is science and evolution and this type of thing. It's like, dude, the question of whether or not God exists is a metaphysical question. It's a philosophical question. Your entire thing, your atheism and your claim that no God exists and all this other stuff that you're talking about, this is philosophy, bro. If you're not ready to talk about it, don't come on a stream. And when you knew what the discussion was going to be, it's not like we said, oh, Aron, you're coming on to debate evolution, and then we switched the topic. No, you knew what the topic was. You came on, and you had a certain confidence maybe in the beginning. With about 5 minutes in, the guy was completely uncomfortable. And then afterwards, you try to backtrack and say, well, it's not my area. It doesn't work like that, man. You came in confident and you got embarrassed. It's not our problem. That's your problem.
I mean, when it comes to his area, I think Sabur
you got it very well.
It went all over the place. And Brother Sabur was he kind of dismantled his position very well there from the scientific perspective and from the angle of like philosophy of science. But then again, this is the idea that you can't really. You're saying it's not your area. You can't really critique religion or the existence of God from a purely scientific perspective without involving philosophy. It's just not possible. You can involve science, of course, but it's just not possible to make a purely scientific critique of the idea of God's existence. And something else he tried to do is he tried to shift the goalpost several times. It's clear that the discussion is about like a stage one cosmological argument about whether a necessary being exists, not about the characteristics of the necessary being.
And Abdul, just explain what necessary being in that context means for the audience, because they might not understand it.
Yeah, so a necessary being is a being that couldn't have not existed, or a being that couldn't have been otherwise in terms of metaphysical necessity. But it's basically a being that must have existed, and being here doesn't necessitate sentience or consciousness or any of that. Being is just something that exists, right? And he didn't really understand this in the beginning, and this is a common error that a lot of internet atheists do. You would expect someone who's very popular and who makes a career out of critiquing religion to understand what necessary being means in philosophical terms, but he didn't, unfortunately. And he tried to shift the goalposts when Sharif was done, and right before Jake came in towards the end, I explained to him a certain form of the contingency argument from like the set of all contingent things, and his response was, well, you jump from that to magical sky being or something like that. And then I was like, I don't want you jumping around.
That's exactly what you're saying. Do you remember the title of this fucking video? You got Aaron Ross saying he believes in God.
Yeah.
Dear fucking Lord, people. He kept shifting the goalpost, shifting the goal. How many times did you redefine words to make arguments in that fucking debate?
Well, for them, lying has a different meaning, For them, the word lying or liar means truth. Something you can just throw the fuck one out there and shit, and people will just magically delicious believe it. That's exactly what the fuck. That's exactly what they're doing here.
They're twisting the damn
somewhere.
truth for confirmation from each other. What the fuck? They're gonna agree anyway. What the fuck is the point?
That's not the topic of the discussion. If you want us to get to the actual omni properties and other attributes of God and why we believe that this necessary being must be God, we must first arrive at the conclusion that a necessary being exists. Otherwise, it's pointless. And it's always that this shifting of the goalpost is an easy way to get out of a problem. But alhamdulillah, we didn't really let him do that. So
just to highlight on what you said there. So people really need to understand that there are steps that need to be taken in order to get to the eventual conclusion, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the true God. And what we do is, like you said, we take stage one, which is the first step.
The true God built by the foundation of lies and deceit and con artistry and pseudo-intellectualism and all the shit you've demonstrated thus far, and conclude that it is the true God. That's how we get to the true God. Do a bunch of bullshit. That's very intellectual. That's very philosophical, guys. If we sift through all this bullshit, we're eventually going to find the true God. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah,
The
according
true
to
God.
Hadith.
The God the Christians are following is the fake God.
The true God is hiding behind this masquerade of us and our confirmation bias.
Being, not saying about the qualities that it has or its attributes or anything like that, just simply that there is a kind of being that exists necessarily, that is, its non-existence is impossible. It has to exist. Yeah. And then from there, once that argument is concluded, you can move to stage 2, which is the second step, which then talks about what are the possible attributes or qualities that this being may have. And then after that, once you've established its qualities and attributes, you can say, well, which religion here is talking about this being? Which one fits the criteria more perfectly than others?
Theirs.
And what they'll do is, like you just said there, you'll be talking about the first step, and they'll say, well, you just jumped from here to this at the end. It's like, no, we're not. You're doing that now in that critique. We're still on stage 1. Once we've established this, we'll take the necessary steps in order to get to that position. We're not going to jump to it. That's all.
But see, that's where this dude is failing to realize they done already took up an hour of this man's time trying to get around, discussing their way or debating their way through the first fucking step. When they got to that fucking hour mark, he's like, hey, yo, look, you guys are tripping right now. I got a fucking hour. Get to your fucking point and let's do this shit. But no, these motherfuckers wanted to fucking do. They wanted to change up definitions to words. They couldn't even figure out what they fucking wanted to argue the fuck about.
Mind. They couldn't find the definition of mind. You remember that? They couldn't figure out what a mind is. All three of them started thinking like, And he said, a mind. It's a part of a person, guys. It's part of a person. They're like, well, what's a person? And it's like, really? Did I just give you like 30 minutes of my time to tell you what minds and persons are? Really?
Right.
Okay, let's talk about persons.
He wasted
the whole point of this
they wasted this man time. Well, they didn't really waste his time. He had time. He had time to kill. And that was that. Then that hour was it.
Conversation. And for you to just start making that assertion is guilty of what it's accusing you of doing.
Yeah.
Making the jump.
And you know what's powerful about the way that these type of new atheists and internet atheists sort of argue is that they always shift the discussion to something that they're comfortable with. And because of the way that they conduct themselves, the opponent usually just falls for the trap and says, oh, well, okay, we're talking about a necessary being and, but you're really going to your sky god, aren't you? Well, we don't believe in a sky god. And you just fall for the trap. And this happens a lot. So he was simply scanning the situation and saying, okay, what am I comfortable with? I'm comfortable with mocking God. I'm comfortable with talking about the attributes of God. So let me just run away to that. But you guys kept dragging him back.
Exactly. Yeah,
but he never did that. Not one time.
He's captain of the red herring.
That's what needs to be done. People need to realize that when you're discussing a certain topic, don't let people go off on tangents. You need to bring them back to the topic of the discussion, because it's a very deceptive tactic. And I don't mean to be. I don't mean to pick on Aron.
How are you defining mind? How are you defining person? How are you defining this? How are you defining that? How are you defining that? We're defining every fucking word in order to get your fucking way. Don't let him fucking do that.
He went off on tangent. Oh, there's my headset.
Don't let him do that.
And all this other shit. I didn't see that man go off on no fucking tangent. They were the ones that were going off on the tangent.
Exactly.
I mean, shit. I mean, when I first started this with you, Taylor, it's supposed to just get the satire. It was supposed to be satirical, but I mean, I'm really seeing the logical bullshit. Oh, the logical bullshit. Yeah, it's just a lot of bullshit that's just being exposed, and these motherfuckers are just like, they're lying. They're lying. It didn't go down that way.
Straight up lying, man. We have to deny reality to accept this bullshit. We have to pretend like these things don't happen. We have to fucking hide our little heads. We gotta fucking stick our heads up our asses while these motherfuckers masquerade around as winners.
They're like I said before, they're stretching their 15 seconds of fame, and that's what this is. This is just a stretching, so they can continuously tell people that they went up against the great Aron Ra. We went up against the great Aron. We did it, guys. We did it. Victory achieved. Victory. We won. He lost. He agreed to our fucking stupid demands. As spurious as they may be. I'm gonna steal fucking Vin's word from yesterday. Spurious as they may be.
These motherfuckers spent a whole fucking 10th of a second thinking deep thoughts of how stupid their fucking hadiths are and how fucking ridiculous it is to read them. And lo and behold, somehow they become masters of philosophy we call exterior philosophy. I mean, everyone else is fucked. They're fine. They don't have to think about their positions much. When asked about their position, they go right to yours. All right. I've been talking shit about TAP for fucking whole weeks and have yet responded. I have 0 requests to appear on a TAP podcast. The ones I've been on the show twice. Both times I talked about modalism, and these motherfuckers did the exact same thing to me, and I held my peace. I sustained it. I'm a guest on your fucking show.
Right.
But out of all these fucking videos I've done on these fucking guys, I have received 0 requests to debate because they know I know what the fuck's up. And so did my fucking viewers. Except for the little hadithers and shit that show up every now and again.
What do they call that? Disingenuous.
I was expecting it. I was afraid it was going to turn into like a showdown
That's what
match
they
or
are.
something. But I appreciate his approach to the discussion. I appreciate him coming on. But then, oftentimes, it's just very easy to, when you're getting cornered and when you realize you're going to concede to a very important point. In this case, it was the entire discussion he was conceding to. Shifting the goalposts is very easy to do, and you just sort of ridiculing God is you just basically
how
divert the
fucking
attention.
easy it is to do.
There's a follow-up tactic to that as well, so that if you don't allow them to utilize these red herrings, look at that over there, woo, move your attention to something irrelevant to the subject. If you try to bring it back, they try to make it seem as if you're avoiding the question.
Yep.
By trying to take control. No, we're on a path here. We're talking about a very particular subject. If you want to start going on about something irrelevant that does not have anything to do with the conversation we're currently having now and derails it completely, my bringing it back, again, it's the exact same thing. It ends up them being guilty of the thing they're accusing you of. They utilize the red herring. You try to get the conversation back on track. They accuse you of avoiding answering their questions and of utilizing red herrings, when in reality, you're having the conversation that you're there to have. And if he is going to concede to the fact that he is not.
You said you remember that happening?
Yeah, I remember that happening. Just now. As he said it. Had nothing to do with the fucking debate. Of course. The debate is just like their fucking fake God. He doesn't exist. There's no possible way for him to exist. Right? It's a contradiction to have a fucking true God and shit hidden in a bunch of fucking bullshit from random people on the internet trying to glorify themselves. It's incoherent. Like our little friend likes to say, this is an incoherent belief.
Incoherent.
It's incorrect epistemology. Right? To believe that a true God lurks in the bullshit of apologists.
Quit to have these conversations. Why is he having them constantly? Why am I always seeing him on the internet having these discussions?
The thing is, if this discussion happened,
what did he just ask you? Why didn't he see him on the internet in the show that you're referring to?
I think our side would have lost, because what he would have done is you would have. The thing is, if this discussion
in red herrings, when in reality you're having the conversation that you're there to have, and if he is going to concede to the fact that he is not equipped to have these conversations, why is he having them constantly? Why am I seeing him on the internet having these discussions?
The thing is, if this discussion happened in
public,
and it was a short discussion of say 5 minutes, I think our side would have lost. What he would have done is you would have tried to chronologically take him down a line. He would have changed the topic, mocked you a little bit, and it would have ended, and you wouldn't have had time to clarify it. So I think the reason why it went badly for him is that's what he was expecting. Let me come here. Let me just bring it back to what I'm comfortable with, mock these guys a little bit and leave. But because it was longer and he had to justify each position, that's why he actually ended up losing.
Yeah, and we didn't react as he expected. We didn't follow him down these red herring trails of his slogans and catchphrases that he uses. And I want to point out that this is not just merely about Aron Ra. This is meant to show an example of internet atheism.
What slogan? I don't.
What's a person? They didn't follow him down the trail. No, they created the trail.
I don't watch Aron Ra outside of this whole fucking debacle that is him becoming a Muslim. So I don't know anything about his mottos and slogans and shit. Does he have mottos and slogans, Taylor?
I think he has a couple. I've seen a couple, but he didn't mention any of the ones that I know of. He wore the T-shirt. He wore the big "fuck you" T-shirt to them, and they were pretty intimidated by his T-shirt.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't, like I said, I only seen him in like a couple of things and whatnot on Justin's show, I believe it was, and that was pretty much it. And I've heard of him through like channels, the atheist channels and whatnot, and me coming up and shit as a young adult. Never ever heard anyone have a fucking slogan or anything like that remotely comes to mind when I think of Aron Ra. And in this debate, he didn't say anything cheesy or remotely cringeworthy in this fucking debate. So what the fuck is they talking about? Lying ass mother. Let me steal your tongue, Ray. Steal your tongue. Don't go down that fucking hole. I don't need to go down that hole. Try to be less like Taylor. You don't have to be angry and shit. Woosah.
It's indicative of the larger body of atheists that we meet online, that we frequently have discussions with. I'm not saying that they're all completely inept, but from my experience, generally they're so philosophically unsophisticated. They really have no idea what they're talking about, and they come in with a very strong opinion, but they really don't even understand the basics of the subject matter. So that's really what we want to show, is that even somebody popular like Aron Ra, and the reason why many atheists are like that is because he's the type of people that they're following. And so they then exhibit the same type of behavior and intellectual sophistication or lack thereof when it comes to.
First and foremost, Jake, you don't even fucking know atheists. Okay? The type of people who follow Aron Ra are probably far smarter than you are, look more intelligent than you do. And there are dumb motherfuckers that follow him also. Just Taylor, you follow Aron Ra, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, see? Yeah, see? Dumb motherfucker right here. Following Aron Ra and shit. You know what I'm saying? But Taylor's one of the smartest fucking people I know also. I'm not saying Taylor's dumb because, he's not fucking intelligent. He's very fucking smart. The other thing is, there are Christians who follow this motherfucker. There are Muslims who follow this motherfucker. You sitting here talking about his popularity and shit. This really, really grounds home my motherfucking point. That this is what this is all about. Clout chasing motherfuckers like you fucking assholes right now. Y'all just trying to chase fucking clout. Get a fucking life. Get a fucking life. Like, go about your life and live your fucking life. Aron Ra fucking rips you motherfuckers to shreds in a motherfucking debate and shit. And you guys are sitting here having this fucking gay ass motherfucking We Won parade and shit. Circle jerk hug fest fucking hug box parade in your little fucking funky ass echo chamber and shit. Like you fucking won. You didn't win shit. You didn't win jack diddly donk. And then you come across a motherfucker like me who doesn't have all the knowledge in the world, doesn't have all the fucking intelligence in the world. Motherfuckers like Justin will call me philosophically inept. When you idiots don't even have a single fucking degree in between any of you in philosophy. Maybe these motherfuckers with the books behind them, but books can only get you but so fucking far. They don't fucking
books. Like Justin?
Huh?
It's a green screen of books again.
Is that what that is?
I think Ponder's got the actual books.
Oh my God! Please tell me.
I'm pretty sure Castaway got a green screen.
Oh my God!
You can kind of see how you're in like the funhouse collide of a bookshelf. Ponder's is shit.
It looks like
He's
a
got the
library.
awkward IKEA bookshelf.
Yeah. I believe Ponders is definitely. If anything, he seems to be a lot smarter. He seems to be too smart to be hanging out in this kind of crowd. And like he said, he didn't watch the whole entire video. You know what I'm saying? Like Ponders, Yusuf Ponders, use your brain, bro. Watch the entire fucking discussion before you
read a book on philosophy, not how to apologize for nonsense.
Yeah.
You might be the only one with hope. Yusuf Ponders. Do some pondering.
That's really green screen behind support. That's a good green screen. That's better than your green screen, Taylor.
You can see his outline.
But I don't know. It's so fucking good. Let me see. I gotta zoom on. I gotta zoom in on it.
Zoom in on Castaway here.
It's not a green screen, dude. He's in the actual room. The lighting is, the lighting is 100% correct. Is consistent. Here, let me see how he moves alongside of our. I tell you what.
Yeah, let's see this shit.
Let's see how it looks.
I'm convinced with Ponders.
That's a great point you just made, Jake. That's a really great point. That it's like a contagious. It's like Corona. Yeah. So they have this very bad attitude of straw manning other people and just having these pre-prepared sound bites and catchphrases. And then what happens is
bad idea. They have a bad idea,
and everybody else starts doing the same thing. And I believe, especially this particular, discussion that you had with him, I think it's going to rattle a lot of atheists. I think they're going to lose a lot of certainty. I've actually met somebody.
Yeah, I've just seen the lighting change.
They saw a discussion between a Muslim and an atheist, and when they got rattled, they actually made them leave atheism, because a lot of it is glass and smoking mirror, like smoke and mirrors type of thing, right? And it's just about breaking that spell, right? Breaking the spell, and when you break the spell, everyone's like, "Oh, the emperor has no clothes."
No, he's got a whole bunch of Qurans and shit in there. That would be hard to come by.
I just want to make one last point about because you were talking about the philosophical side of things and how he's not aware of them.
I think it's real.
One of the points in the debate, and you guys can check it out, that really shows this is how he tried to make the idea of leprechauns analogous to the existence of God. So this is the problem here. If you're coming to discuss the existence of God and you have leprechauns in your mind, and we just jump straight to the topic of whether God exists and you're like, give me the evidence. You have leprechauns in your mind. I have something completely different. So I have.
You mad as shit? He fucking went to motherfucking Lucky Charms and shit.
God that sends a man across the desert on a magic carpet different from a leprechaun who has a hidden pot of gold on the other side of the rainbow, sir?
Right. He's just mad as shit. He used that fucking analogy and shit. It was like, well, let's look at the Lucky Charms guy. I remember that. In the debate. That was
you
one
read
of my
those
favorite
hadiths, man. You can have more than leprechauns on your fucking mind. Aaron was being charitable to your cause.
Hey, and then Muhammad go to heaven on a fucking winged horse.
Yeah, he flew across the desert on a magic carpet. He wore a cloak who never forgot. A black stone fell from heaven. There's enchanted items. There's enchanted rituals. He could say things, superstitious things and shit, and things would happen. All the works, man. A leprechaun popping a pot of gold on the other side of a fucking rainbow is charity to your God. You believe you God endowed a man with super, like in the fucking the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe scenario. This motherfucker went on a quest to find the items and shit, like Link from Zelda.
To you what God is. It's almost because you think God is analogous to leprechauns. You don't even know what the topic of the discussion is. You're not familiar with the basic understanding of certain theistic conceptions of God. So that's why it needs to be breaking down. And it was very clear from our responses to this whole leprechaun analogy that he didn't really know what he's talking about, and he got cornered there too. So yeah, generally I think this is an approach we should have to these kinds of discussions. It shouldn't be just a shouting match where, like, who gets louder. Try to break down the person's epistemology down and try to get them to justify their position just as much as you have to justify yours.
Do you mind if I just add something to that as well? So one of the us as duats, we get email.
I don't have the time for these assholes to sit down and point to every part of the debate they're referring to and how fucking distorted their version of the event is. I'm sure some atheist will come along and do that shit. But,
some other atheist.
some atheist or some shit will do. We'll let the atheist tell this one, because this is their guy. But he didn't tell you. He said that his disbelief in your God is just like your disbelief in leprechauns. And that's exactly what it is. That is to the T what it is. Him mentioning the leprechauns was charitable to you.
Yeah. Because I definitely...
They're representing like, oh, when he thinks God, he thinks leprechauns, and they're totally ontologically different. They're so philosophically, if we throw a bunch of different words in the mix, it'll make it true again. He was being charitable with you. You have a ridiculous belief in these hadiths. A ridiculous one. And you've not attempted to defend it. I've yet to see a video where you guys are defending the bullshit you supposedly believe. All it is a bunch of pseudo-intellectual, pseudo-philosophical, pseudo-historical claims. Nothing in defense of your own nonsense. Critiquing everyone else. You're no different than the fucking atheist. It's not an argument. It's a criticism of an argument. Where's the pro? Let's get the 4 hadiths argument. Let's get the 4 this God argument. Never happened. Not once. I'll be the one to do it. Tap, you know my videos. You've been ignoring me. You ain't been speaking me. You had your little cry emojis and your little guy blow out and kick me out the chat. I'm the man.
Yeah.
If you want to debate these things, you want to try to convince me this nonsense is true? Right? I have to read it. I got to get it from the other folks because you guys sure don't like to talk about it. Come my way. Pastor Taylor is waiting.
That was quite a lot. And it's usually of young people that are just scouring the internet and they come across Tafsir Aron Ra, and like they're like, oh, subhanallah, this guy is so confident. Oh, he's shaking my foundations. And they'll send you these emails. Half of the time it's because one of these guys has said something very unconsequential. Like it's such a secondary issue in terms of the foundation of the deen and whether or not it should affect your iman. And they talk about it very confidently, very brashly. Often the people that they engage with are, maybe not even capable of having these discussions themselves. And they see the defeat of a particular Muslim as reason to say that the Islam has been defeated itself, rather than it just being the inadequacy of a particular interlocutor and the failing of that person, rather than of Islam as a whole. So my advice here would be, if you're one of these type of people, that when you look at something and you see someone lose in the debate, like a Muslim interlocutor like comes up against Aron Ra and he does this screaming thing that he does, and he's like, no, show me the evidence, and he gets all sweaty and red. Like, don't be pulled by that kind of...
But that didn't happen. It's like, that didn't happen. Why are you bringing this up, Yusuf?
It's a good idea. It's a good idea to what to do when you enter a debate with Aron Ra and nothing happens. This is what you can have a circle jerk with your buddies after and pretend like something else happened. This is therapy sessions for Muslims that get eaten by Aron Ra.
They got traumatized. They were that traumatized by me. Turned into the sweaty red.
By Aron Ra this week. This is what you do. Take it from people who know.
Rhetoric. It's inconsequential. And half of the time, like I say, most of the things that you're getting emailed with, it's like, well, even if you didn't have the answer to this, why would that affect your belief in God, especially if you've got proper foundations. You've come to the belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you understand he's one, the need for revelation, all of these things. And you're asking me about something proper random that's just got nothing to do with any of the foundation. It's just a side issue. SubhanAllah, just don't be taken by their brashness. They're throwing their weight around the fact that they've got like a horde of atheist fans behind them liking their videos and clapping their hands, and SubhanAllah, it's
it's not just atheists.
We can easily see it as an avalanche when it's simply a snowball with a massive, sort of camera focus on it. So Jazakallah khair, guys. Great work. I'm looking forward to other guests. I think you should invite some of these other atheists, online atheists, on the podcast. Just before we end, tell us a little bit about the podcast, what the purpose is, and what the plans are.
Castaway, you got some very good advice for them. Have them invite more atheists on their podcast.
Yeah. So they can
we'll open our calendar. We'll open our weekends in the future for this shit. Don't let them quit, Castaway.
Real shit. Tell them, he's like, bring them to daddy. Bring them to daddy. Bring them to me, my child, my young Padawan.
We'll be watching your career with great interest. That podcast.
Oh man! Oh my gosh!
What is this? You got like a minute left?
Was it 33? It's like 3 minutes.
What are they gonna do? Jerk each other off for the last 3 minutes? Let's see.
The plans for the future, we try to invite guests on every now and then, like we did with Aron Ra. Maybe we'll be able to get some more atheists.
I'm doing that on purpose because fuck Jake's face.
Maybe we'll get some more atheists and we'll be watching.
Oh man, I just feel like I feel like any atheist that goes there and they get converted to Islam, you don't have a brain of your own. And you don't have free will. You're not utilizing it correctly. You're not utilizing free will as if God has intended for you to have it, and as if the Almighty John has willed you to have it. But I mean, I guess
I had a fucking Haditha come at me today.
Yeah.
And I said the same thing. He's like, why do you hate Islam? Why do you hate Muslims? I'm like, I do not hate Muslims. I have Muslims up in my DTF fans only or OnlyFans chat. I got Muslims that join us all the time. They're loyal followers of the Quran. It's these Hadithers, all right? And not only just Hadithers, it's one thing that you want to come. I believe this shit. I don't give a fuck what you think about me. There's nothing I can say about you, all right? It's you motherfucking pseudo-intellectuals that want to be on the internet lying and shit. Well, don't be surprised if I get one of your videos and sit down and have a good time watching all the bullshit you're throwing around the internet. Because that just happens to be my religion. I like to look through all these fucking web of lies that Satan shits all over the world. We got a Satan up in this motherfucker, right? You see our little icon, it's the Satan guy. That's because we into that shit. I'm an enthusiast to your nonsense. But if you think I'm clowning Islam, right? Who's a bigger clown to Islam? Me or Khalil Allah? The people that give us content to review.
Message.
I don't know. I don't know if people are going to be so eager to come on after they saw what happened, but inshallah. But usually, our podcast.
Yeah.
You don't invite nobody. You fucking
yeah, you don't want no other atheists to come on and thrash the shit out of you. Like come on now. They don't. Come on, man.
Wow.
You know Aron Ra. He beat the shit out of y'all. Yeah, you're not gonna invite another atheist on board.
I'll get you. We're gonna have this quote forever. Jake saying this, and I'm gonna be asking the mother. You guys want to go on tab and get Muslim gangbang? We'll see how many Muslims are, or how many atheists aren't eager to meet you, fucking goofballs. After what happened.
is mainly dealing with things related to science and philosophy. We talk about Christianity, Islam, atheism. We usually introduce a topic for about 30 minutes amongst ourselves. We invite callers to come on, address us either with comments or questions, and we try to deal with them the best way we can. So yeah, inshallah, hopefully we'll have more people on in the future, and maybe we'll produce.
Oh, we lost him.
Yeah, we lost him. He
So,
said maybe we'll produce.
Oh, thank God.
more content.
Inshallah.
He said, inshallah. Yes.
We lost him. Inshallah.
Wallahi, thank you, Allah.
Subhanallah.
Allahu Akbar. Won't he do it? Jesus took the wheel. Got rid of that motherfucker.
Inshallah, the best way you could help us with doing that, if you're watching this now, go search Thought Adventure Podcast. Inshallah, the SC Dawa will put the links in the description as well. But just subscribe to that and help share our videos. Mainly because obviously the more exposure this particular channel gets, the more likely we'll have engagement coming on, the more variety in terms of the people that jump on during our call-in shows, things like that. We're relatively small at the moment. We've got, I think, 2,000 subscribers.
2,000 plus, yeah.
Yeah, around the 2,000 mark. And obviously, your engagement in there is going to help it with the algorithms. So liking our content. This obviously goes for SCDAO as well. Liking the content, sharing it on your social media, commenting and engaging in the comments. All of this really does help a channel to grow. And inshallah, the main emphasis and aim of the channel itself is just to have a different tone in terms of the discourse. We don't want this sort of battle analogy. We like to, and if you watch the Aron Ra discussion with Brother Abdul Rahman and Jake and Sharif, you'll see that the tone is very relaxed, it's very professional, and it's very cordial. And that's the whole goal of this, is to have really good, wholesome discussion that really focuses on the points themselves and not getting into these screaming matches. And when they start to look like they're going to happen, to try and tone it down or calm it down, like Brother Abdul Rahman did very well.
Anders, how you know? You didn't even watch the whole thing.
Little hissy bit.
Absolutely. Jazakallah khair for that, guys. I mean, what comes to mind is the atheist experience, a Muslim version of it, except that it's not full of sophistry, it's full of philosophy, and it's a lot more civil, right? And it's a lot more cordial, like you said, Yusuf. But we should really have things like this. I'm really looking forward to the great stuff, inshallah, that you guys are going to be producing. So head over to Thought Adventure Podcast, subscribe, comment, share, like. And if you haven't seen it already, go back and watch this discussion.
Inshallah.
So, Jazakallah khair for joining. Sadly, he's left us. But inshallah, we can have him back in the future at some time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum.
Yeah. We'll give him a better outro.
That was beautiful. That was one of the most. No, when did that video come out? Shaq has hair. When did that video come out?
It was back in the 90s, man.
Oh God, Aaron Carter was back that far. I was in middle school then. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Aaron Carter's a manic drug addict now, of course.
Yeah, he looks terrible.
Yeah, I saw him on this podcast. He was making an ass of himself, just like those guys on the podcast making an ass of themselves.
Yeah,
that's what 100%. Immediately reminded me of that, because that's what they were describing to us.
What the fuck are you guys doing? Hey, you guys. What the fuck are you doing?
The Battle Kitty missed the night.
Oh man, the Battle Kitty would have been. Oh gosh, he would have been.
The Battle Kitty intervened.
Let me let you know. I'm so proud of you guys.
Like, he means what he says, and when he says what he means, and he means what he says, and he says what he means. And I know. Damn Battle Kitty.
Oh yeah, he would have been. Yo, he would have been. Can you imagine Battle Kitty in a debate with these guys?
Oh yeah, that's Battle Kitty is going to call. I'm going to order the Battle Kitty to call into the Chat Podcast when they have a call-in show.
Yeah,
send Battle Kitty as our representative, because eventually one of these assholes is going to end up in a debate with me.
That would be awesome. You know, Taylor's doing the show, the debate, the facts, and I don't know if I'm doing this right. I love you. But yeah, I want you guys to come on and debate the facts, and You know, that motherfucker, man. Man.
The facts of debate the fact. You know, it's like in a very non, you know, in a submissive, psychedelic way that he wants to talk about the things that you talk about normally. I know.
It's not sexual. I know.
Yeah, in a very, very hypersexual way. I am the battle kitty. That's why they call me that.
I know.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I know.
Oh my gosh, I love that guy. I wish he were here tonight. That's kind of
We're
killing me.
not saying it's not. We're half bearings. Like we got this nonsense, and we got the battle kitty. They had more nonsense than we did tonight without our battle kitty.
The mess. It's spelled Aaron Carter. Learn how to spell. Just Canadians.
Wow.
That all right. So that review, I give that review an F for integrity. 0 integrity up in that review. I give it an A plus for the bookshelves. Fantastic. If Sabor's bookshelf was fucking real, and or even if it's a green screen, that's a very good looking fucking green screen, Taylor. You gotta admit it. It's a very good fucking looking green screen, man. I wish my green screen looked. I don't even have a green screen. But I'm sure you wish your green screen looks just as half as fucking good. Equally as good. Shit.
Yeah, I wish I had a green screen like his.
And for their guests, I give them a failing grade because, like, I mean, they were just pretty much letting the hosts guide them through what went on in the fucking debate and the discussion. You guys weren't in the fucking discussion. Okay, stop playing exposition to your fucking audience. And let the guys who were there fucking lead exposition. They should have been on the lead. But see, these dudes knew they were being disingenuous. They knew what it was. They knew it was some bullshit. And so they had to lead these young cats through the fucking exposition. They had to, especially Sabor. He was the biggest purveyor of it. And Yusuf didn't even watch the whole thing to even embark upon an opinion on anything that happened in it. But it is what it is, neither here nor there. That brings it to a grand total of a D minus on my end. With that, I'll pass.
I'm gonna be charitable. I'm gonna give them an A for the celebrity cameo that Jumanji played in the video with the fake bookcase.
Oh my god!
And that's pretty much
it. Yo, was that a bookcase from Jumanji?
Yeah, that motherfucker looked like Jumanji. He looked like Robin Williams coming right
Oh,
out the fucking
you
Jumanji.
stupid!
And that's where they get their credit. But aside from that, that was the most bastardized version of reality I have seen in a long time. And I've talked to flat earthers. I've talked to the most brain rotten atheist. I've been an evangelist for 7 fucking years, and boy, I have never seen a butthole so sore until I got a fucking circle jerk of Muslims describing reality to me as if I cannot see it with my own eyes.
They were in a different dimension, Taylor. That's what it was. They were in a whole entirely different alternate dimension where Aron Ra was fucking losing his mind, was disagreeing with them 100% of the fucking time. Well, actually, yeah, he was disagreeing with them 100% of the time. They got that part right.
He wasn't comfortable to be in a room full of Muslims for an hour, looking at his watch like I got another one to go to.
Yeah. You know, the only thing he did on a consistent basis was pick up that motherfucking long ass mug, take a sip from it, and drop the fucking hammer down on her ass consistently.
Yeah, I've never seen somebody so nervous drinking coffee in my life.
He just spilled it at one point in time. Shit. Hell, I spilled my soda trying to mimic the motherfucker. Like a fucking baby and shit.
Fucking amazing. Borderline amazing. And I hope they come out with more. I hope they do more debates because we've had Jake do a couple debates on here, and they are fucking gold.
They need to add Justin to their debates and shit. Just have him on there. I
Just-
would like to
just-
see Justin do a debate.
Justin jumps into the debates. He's the motherfucker of debaters. He is the master debater. He mastered debates all over every one of these debates.
He can't. He can't moderate for shit. But he can definitely master
He'll
debate.
master debate. He'll jump out of that moderator show and start master debating in there too. He is the master debater. He got me in the chat. Master debater. He wasn't playing. I never knew. This is why, man. If only Justin were here to make this shit gold, because he did another video today.
Yeah, he did. It was with
Justin's the only one that makes these people relevant.
Yeah. Because I didn't know this many Muslims before I fucking met you, and then before I met Justin and shit. And I was saying to myself, hey, you know what? These conversations need to have more Muslims and whatnot. You know, it'd be nice to see the atheists go up against them, the Christians go up against them. I like to see some kind of variety on the fucking debates and shit. Now I'm kind of regretting that fucking decision and shit, because I'm like, you know, now we're pitting these agnostic, weak-willed, weak-minded atheists up against them, and they're converting them. I'd rather see an atheist become a fucking Christian. You know, me being a black man, I'd
rather see a Muslim become an atheist. Is that bad?
Yeah, that too.
I'd rather see an atheist go to hell with integrity than go to hell with a fucking kufi and a magic
sliding down the stripper pole with the lost look on his face and shit. Like, wait, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Well, motherfucker, you chose the wrong fucking religion. You chose the wrong motherfucking God, dog. Hey, don't worry, Justin. I'm right behind you, brother. I'm right behind you. Don't fall on my dick on the way down this motherfucking pole, though. Yo, man, I tell you, it's. I can't wait to get to hell. It's gonna be a very long time before I get there. I'm probably gonna be there, most likely. I've accepted my fate. It's time for other atheists to accept their fate as well. Life goes on, shit, it happens. You never know. You might be able to start your life over again and shit and do things differently. You might not.
Let's throw the battle kitty.